Because that part of history,
Too Jewish.
1893, I don't. But it took 20 years, and they got one state away from getting the 2/3 that they needed, and then Congress acted. They're like, "Oh, they're really going to do this," and
we better get in front of this.
Yeah, so they got in front of it, and it was like the 17th Amendment, and they added it, and it took 20 years. But they had no interweb back then.
Right.
They didn't have things like
Right,
that.
they didn't have the kind of communication we have.
Yeah. So it's possible. It's possible. And I encourage everybody to go to like wolfpack.com, check it out. And there's like lots of, like you can click on a thing on your, sign a petition or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Real fun.
Yeah.
You can do it on your phone. You can just do it in the chip that's in your head. But so the bigger problem, let's talk about this. And I don't know.
Wait, there's no bigger problem than that. But go ahead.
Okay, so the bigger problem is the politicians keep acting in the interest of the money holders because they are them. Like financially, culturally, GW and Big Bill Clinton and Barack Obama are more like each other
than they are like you and me.
Us.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And it's hard because I think in the media and the presentation, anyone who is not a super moneyed one percenter is made to look like a hayseed or an idiot. Like anytime we get a serious, third party candidate, if they don't have the right kind of shoes, if they don't have the right kind of haircut, it's made a mockery. And it's because our country aspires to be the 1%, and like we know that rich people are better than us because they have money, you know. And so even when they're not acting in our best interest at all, we kind of
still want to be them.
We still want to be them a little bit, evidently Jay-Z has ended the Cuba embargo. He went down there first. He and his, and now Barack's like, well, we need to end this thing because
my homie
is that how
Jay-Z,
that went down?
Yeah.
Don't you think?
It may have. Yeah.
That's how it looks to me.
I wouldn't mind a little more transparency in PACs as well. Mike Huckabee, who just threw his God-fearing hat into the ring.
His son's dog in the ring.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that in a second. But he paid his family over $400,000 out of his PAC to work for him.
Well, everybody had a summer job.
Yeah, it seems reasonable.
Yeah, I used,
No, but
help your dad in the office.
Yeah, help.
Getting back to the Wolfpack, the mission is every election until it happens is to make every election a one-issue election. And I believe that because it's so disappointing to see what has happened after so much hope back in 2008 and all the promises. Had a freaking majority, and, it just... And then I started reading about how he was in the back pocket of Wall Street the whole time. And
his appointment of Timothy Geithner should have been a huge clue. That guy's a douche and a half.
Oh, and then that's the other thing. He talked in the State of the Union about new regulations for Wall Street, when in reality, in December, they voted, J.P. Morgan wrote the legislation at the 11th hour that nobody really even read.
And they passed it anyway.
They passed it anyway, so it's starting to unwind what regulations that they did have and basically rubber stamping the next bailout.
Yep.
But that's not what he said in the State of the Union. He made it sound like, hey, everything's going to be fine.
Oh, there it is. It's
we're
going to be
holding
fine.
these banks accountable.
No, it's going to be fine for rich people.
Yeah, exactly.
And banks.
They will never suffer.
That's the fine print.
There it is.
Yeah. It's going to be fine.
You should have listened harder.
So we got... Listening is hard. I'm hoping Elizabeth Warren runs, but we got plenty of time to talk about that. So let's do this. We only got a few minutes. I'm going to run through some headlines, and then you guys throw out a thought or two if you have. The words lesbian, bisexual, and transgender appear in the State of the Union for the first time.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting.
Good.
Since Andrew Jackson. But
Randy Andy.
Yeah, no, my ears perked up when I heard that too. I'm like, it's certainly nice to have that kind of like documentation and visibility that we're keeping an eye on it. It's good.
Yeah, no, that's very positive.
They're Americans too. I hate to point.
Some of them.
Well, some of them.
Yeah, yeah.
Get the Canadian transgenders out of our country.
They're taking up all the stage time.
They're having their own little private shows we're not invited to.
Oh, yeah.
They're hating on heteros.
No, it was funny. It was funny how like new and like exciting that was when I'm glad you pointed it out because like when I heard it, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did you hear this? You know the French comedian that made the Facebook post that upset a lot. He faces up to 7 years in prison now.
You know, one thing we can say about the United States, and I've always said, is that at least we have the freedom of speech. And like when we were worried that Korea was going to bomb us for a buddy movie, I got very nervous because like that's all we have. And the fact that in France you can get
We just have James Franco and Seth Rogen. That's it. That's our only
no,
hope.
thank God no, thank God no. But when people get nervous about freedom of speech and like start to tighten up, like that's the only thing that separates us from like where you write something and you go to jail. You know.
But I understand like Kim Jong-un getting upset about that movie because if you don't have a butthole. You really don't want to sit through 2 hours of fart jokes and sticking something up your ass. Remember that part? Did you see the movie?
Yeah, it was horrible.
Oh no, there's a funny part where he sticks this thing up his ass, and then later he pulls it out of his ass, and then they keep talking about the thing in his ass. It's funny.
No, it's not a good movie. But look,
it was horrible.
It was horrible.
When it got pulled from all the theaters. And I'm like, this is really going to affect what Hollywood is free to say in the future. It doesn't have to be a good movie. It doesn't have to be the best movie. It doesn't have to be a Franz Capra, you know. But like, if I felt strongly like if I die watching a bad buddy movie on Christmas, like, isn't that the most American death?
So I think I found a headline that maybe we can wrap this whole thing up on. Or no, how are we doing on time? Are we okay? Because we started a little late, right? Yeah. All right. We'll get through a few more then. The Yellowstone River. Did you guys hear about this? 50,000 gallons of oil.
No, not oil. Fracking water.
Fracking water.
Wastewater.
Chemicals.
Water.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was an oil spill.
No.
Oh, okay. It was another type of chemical spill.
15 times more salty than the ocean, and it also had radioactive elements in it.
In
yay.
German, they would call it die Flakewasser.
Ja, stimmt.
Could you say that again? That was
Die Frackenwasser. What the frockin's going on?
Yeah, so I mean that's another way to look at like the Keystone XL pipeline.
Every spill we have is a preview.
Yeah.
Well, not only
Coming
that,
soon to an aquifer near you.
It's a jobs program because somebody's going to have to get out there and they're going to have to clean that stuff up.
And they're going to use little fluffy white bunnies to do it.
And you can't.
They're very, very absorbent.
Yes,
you
they
laugh,
are.
but there's a lot of absorbance.
Yeah, now would be a good time to get into the bunny farm business.
I'm telling you.
And those are jobs that you cannot outsource.
No, that's true. That has to be local.
It's got to be local.
Got to be local because that's where the spill is.
Let's see.
I can't wait to see how Yogi the Bear turns out after radioactive water in Yellowstone.
Oh, you kidding me? He's going to be looking at pharmaceutical picnic baskets to help cure the cancer.
Boo-boo.
I don't know, Yogi.
My head's been throbbing pretty bad.
I don't know, Yogi. I wouldn't drink the water.
Do you guys remember the duck from that cartoon? There was a duck. Yogi
I
the
only
Bear.
remember the two bears and the ranger. Where was it?
There's a duck. I don't remember him either, but I saw him speak in Burbank last week. He's old now, but he still does a good duck voice. I don't remember him at all, but
Wow.
this seems like old news. Oxfam report: world's richest 80 people own as much as the bottom half.
Saw that.
They're not
Can we-
done.
can we
They're
have-
not done yet.
Can we post their names somewhere? Find out who these 80
I need to
families
be-
are.
The beautiful people.
The beautiful people. I'd like to write them a thank you card
Oh,
in blood.
and the Supreme Court is going to hear the several equality marriage cases
Yes.
from several states, right? Michigan, Kentucky, something else.
I think Florida also has a case in front of them.
Yeah,
where they
yeah. I
just
think there's
recently
like 4.
lost. Yeah.
Well, and what? There was a state that decided that they, like, if gay marriage was legal, they weren't going to do any marriages.
Oh,
South
yeah,
Carolina?
Yeah. One of the hayseed states. But yeah,
Yeah, like really? Like you're just.
I'm just going to take my toys and go
Yeah,
home.
no one's getting
Screw
married
you
this
guys.
day. That just seems a little extreme.
You respect my authority.
Yeah, I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. It's ridiculous.
But I mean, the good story, what I love about the gay marriage story is that it's inevitable. You can do whatever you want today, next week, but the ball is rolling like we are over 50%. We're good.
Right. I mean, it's like,
Yeah,
I think there's only 17 states now where you can't.
Yeah,
right?
right.
No, it's the gay Borg. Resistance is futile.
Resistance is futile.
Because it's really none of your business who anybody marries.
And it's interesting because, and this is probably another like ray of hope, is in the last the midterms, even though Democrats didn't show up and the Republicans swept through everything, in a lot of red states, progressive issues passed, right? Like minimum wage legislation passed, legalizing marijuana passed, gay marriage passed.
Yeah, so at the state level, people are kind of pulling their heads out of their asses. But at the national level, we have got like the wackadoo parade of all time right now.
Well, and there was a report a couple months ago that, we've always thought of the gay population as being 10% because it was based on Kinsey studies, which were just kind of like, but like also the segment studied in Kinsey was like, they were all pretty much like, well, you kind of always want to pee on leather, right? Like, it was a special segment, so like 10% of them were gay. But like, so it might be closer to 3%. I'm like, what can it matter what 3% of anybody does? Like, I don't just think that people, like gay people should be able to get married. I think that they should be able to take a second carry-on bag because numerically it doesn't make any fucking difference at all.
Exactly, yeah.
They should be able to take more stuff in the express lane, like 3%.
It should
Jesus
be a benefit.
Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, there should
really
be benefits.
3%?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I would have thought it was higher.
Then let's look at the people who are complaining so much. The 78% of the United States, which is Christian, and they're being persecuted.
Right.
Yeah,
By
you got over a 3/4 majority,
terrible
and
3%.
You're being hammered upon.
You poor baby.
See, I would think it'd be at least 10% because I feel like I'm 10% gay, and so
well, the shirt you're wearing,
yeah.
Very colorful.
Wow. Interesting.
But it came out of I think our most recent census, like people were self-reporting on sexual orientation, which has never happened before because, and that's a blessing too, because in the 70s, a lot of times if you said you were gay, people would run out in the street and set you on fire. So like, the fact that we are politically in a time where you don't have to, fear as much persecution, it's only going forward. But like finally, but only 3% of people are like, yeah, I am gay, which actually answers a lot of questions on politics and gay rights because people don't seem to come out in the numbers that you think like
they would.
That they would.
Right.
And it's because they are not there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm with you. The ball's rolling. No one's looking back on
we
that
got
issue.
momentum. We can't unturn it. So that is another thing. You have to find things to feel good about, you guys.
Yeah, you almost do. That's what we try to do on the show occasionally. But and this is probably the most shocking thing I've heard all week, and that is Fox News apologizes 4 times for false facts on Muslims in Europe.
Oh, yeah, the no-go zone controversy.
They never, I have never in my life heard Fox News apologize for anything.
And they ran it was a whole day of, sorry.
Wow.
Oops,
Everyone
sorry.
but Bill O'Reilly. So maybe, who knows?
That's
well,
crazy.
I think they're trying to circumvent the lawsuit that the mayor of Paris, she's threatening to sue them for being, essentially for being Fox.
Right. Yeah.
It's the tête de mail lawsuit.
Je suis poop. Je suis poop.
Tu manges merde et mourir, folks.
I think that's another show.
There was a lot of stuff.
This is great. It was very stimulating. I appreciate both of you coming on and podcasting with me.
I'm glad to be filling Jim's chair. Probably not as adequately as he will.
Yeah, not when he gets back.
When he gets back with
you have to wait for the swelling to go down. But yeah, he's going to fill that chair.
Yeah,
he's going to fill
we'll
it.
We'll have to get some pics up on the web of Jim's new booty.
Instead of J-Lo, it'll be J-Co.
So you guys, you have anything that you're doing this week? Anything you want to plug? Any other podcasts? that.
I'm trying to adhere to a strict non-podcast policy.
Really, you broke it
please,
for us?
Item 1, dates are always